High Flyers, thank you for joining me for part 6 of Champion Racing Pigeon Breeding and Pairing Series. Let's dive right in. Breeding Season. This month, I want to map out for you a nutrition and medication regimen that has worked very dependably for us, and that I believe will make a real difference in the success of your breeding season. By January, most fanciers have either paired their birds and are raising the first round of youngsters, or they're still in the process of preparing the breeders for pairing in the weeks to come. If you're one of the many fanciers whose breeders are raising their first round, you should be paying extra attention to nutritional needs for your breeders like mineral supplements, grit, and picking stones. While breeding pigeons are feeding and rearing their young, their bodies require extra minerals, no exceptions. The pigeon fancier who takes this need for mineral supplements seriously is treating his birds as they deserve to be treated, while at the same time ensuring that he will have a very successful breeding season. In our lofts, we like to use a liquid mineral supplement either on the feed or in the water during the breeding season. All of these are excellent mineral additives: Siegel's Pigeon Power, Herbert's Aminovit, Colombine's Aminovital, Pico's Ferroprodol, and Calcamineral, and Orapharma's Biocol. Any of these supplements, used properly, will make a significant difference in keeping your pigeons in good condition during breeding season. Another product which I recommend without reservation is Naturaline from the Natural Company. It's formulated to help the breeders come into peak condition before pairing up. Fertibol from Comed is a combination vitamin mineral supplement that promotes fertility and hatchability, and I recommend using it during weaning to promote strong bone development. Calcium supplements like calcium vitamin D3 syrup, BioCal, and CalciVit Plus, all from the Australian Pigeon Company, are great for laying hens, especially older hens that have had a problem laying. These mineral supplements will quickly eliminate the leg paralysis so often found in hens with severe calcium deficiency. We keep picking stones in our lofts during the breeding season. We place a pick stone in the pot in each loft and also crumble part of a picking stone into the grit bowl in each loft. We mix the picking stone in with the grit and place that in a small covered container so that the birds can take all that they want anytime. APC's calcium cakes and mineral blocks are really effective at delivering the mineral supplements that our breeders need during this time of year. Vitamineral is another excellent supplement of this type. It's a powdered vitamin and mineral supplement that can be mixed into the grit or directly onto the feed. All of these nutritional supplements ensure that your birds are getting the right amounts of vitamins, minerals, and trace elements to help them raise healthy, vigorous young. They also help your breeders keep in good shape for the later rounds to come. Remember, pigeons kept confined in a loft, especially during the cold winter months, are not capable of getting all the minerals and trace elements that their bodies require from the feed alone, so supplements are not only wise, but necessary. One supplement that has consistently received very strong positive feedback from fanciers all around the country for a number of years is HealthGuard, a probiotic water additive formula. In fact, we have had negative feedback from no one using the product during the nearly 9 years that we have carried HealthGuard, while we have heard hundreds of personal testimonials about its effectiveness. We have used it regularly in our own lofts since the 2002 breeding season, and we have been completely gratified with the results in our babies. We send many birds to a number of out-of-area races, and the babies that are raised by our breeders taking HealthGuard do not succumb to many of the diseases that affect other birds of the same age in the same lofts. Parent birds given HealthGuard seem to pass on to the babies a high resistance to viral infections for many months after the product is removed from the diet, and racing birds have shown a greater resistance to disease. The concept behind HealthGuard is to use large doses of naturally occurring microorganisms to help correct or control health problems in our pigeons. We use HealthGuard in our own lofts during the breeding season every day on our breeders from the beginning of January until the end of March, which encompasses our first 2 rounds. The HealthGuard is given in addition to our regular supplements like Pigeon Power. Each year, we send out nearly 200 youngsters from our first 2 rounds to other lofts to race, either in futurities or in convention races, or to partner lofts to be tested. After a couple of months, some of the lofts that I've sent birds to will begin to report sicknesses like circle virus, but the overwhelming majority of our babies remain healthy, even when there are babies of the same age from other breeders dying all around them. Given all the circumstances, I have concluded that HealthGuard makes the difference. Fanciers in areas subject to freezing must take extra precautions to make sure that the birds are getting enough fresh water every day. There are heaters for drinkers that are helpful, but they are by no means a sure bet to keep the water from freezing in extremely cold climates. For birds living in these conditions, I recommend extra vitamins and minerals, because these birds are being stressed at higher levels than pigeons living in more moderate climates. If you don't maintain good hygiene in your loft, disease is sure to visit. The most important aspect of good loft hygiene is to keep the feeders and drinkers clean. In our lofts, we like to disinfect the feeders and drinkers periodically with Sani Coupe. 1 capful to a gallon of water will disinfect anything in the loft, and you can also use it on the perches. We keep enough drinkers on hand to be able to rotate them, so that some are being disinfected while others are in use. This way, whenever we need a fresh drinker, there are several clean ones waiting to be used. The old bird races will be beginning in just a few months in some areas of the country. So, obviously, the old bird race team also needs attention at this time. Fanciers who will be flying widowhood will probably be pairing racers now, depending on the starting time of the race season. This can be challenging, because you must move the new yearling cocks and hens into the loft with the older birds, and having them take the proper nest box is always stressful. We lock our pairs into their boxes with a separation between them until they appear to have become interested in each other. Then we take away the separator but continue to keep the pair locked up in the main part of their box. At this time, all of the racers are locked in their boxes with their hens, and they are fed and watered in the nest box. Because of the intense stress of this close confinement, we add vitamins and pigeon power to the water. A similar supplement that our customers like is Ferroprodol. It also does a good job of keeping the birds in fine shape even during the most intense times of stress. Once the racers are paired, we begin by letting one pair out at a time, until they show us that they know where their box is. Once this is established, we start letting out 2 pairs at a time, but always make sure that their boxes are at opposite ends of the loft from each other. For example, a top right box would be opened along with a bottom left. After a few weeks, things in the old bird loft should start to settle down, and the racing pairs will go down on eggs. We like to time this so that our old birds will lay and raise 1 round of young, then go down on their second set of eggs about 10 days before our first race. To do this, we always figure 54 days backwards from the first weekend of racing. This includes 10 to 12 days for pairing and laying of the first egg, 18 days for setting, then 24 to 26 days for raising the young and then the laying of the second round. Since we do not want our birds to start molting, we normally pull the hens from their cocks 3 days after the second egg of the second round is laid. We also like to leave a squeaker with its father for several days after the hen has been removed. But we will go into detail about this technique in next months in the loft in a video to follow. Because we like to allow 6 weeks for training the old birds, we usually start taking the cocks and hens on alternate days just after the hens have laid, weather permitting, for their shorter tosses during January. Since this training is just a refresher for the old birds, it usually doesn't take them quite as long to get the hang of it, and they start coming quite well after only a few tosses. Loft exercise is also quite beneficial at this time, and we will often let the birds out for whatever exercise they will take on their own. We also medicate the old bird race team now as a precaution against the major diseases. We like to give a combination treatment for Salmonella, E. coli, and coccidiosis for about 7 to 10 days. We use trimethopriam sulfa, which takes care of all of these. Immediately after the treatment, we give 2 days of a probiotic to restore the gut bacteria. Probic from the Australian Pigeon Company, Comtos from Comed, Digestal from Colombine, and Prodigest from Herberts all do a good job. We use it on the feed with either wheat germ oil or garlic oil to make it stick. After a few days, we begin a respiratory treatment for 14 days. We have had success alternating between Doxyvet alone and Doxy-T. For severe infections, Dr. Steve Weir has found that adding swan oval to either product increases the potency of the treatment. A third option would be Tilin with Aureomycin. After each medication treatment, we use a probiotic for 2 days. Our final medication treatment before the races begin is a 3-day canker treatment. Generally, we select 2 canker products and alternate between them for an entire racing season. Once our training begins in earnest, we treat on alternate weekends with a respiratory product and anchor product for 2 days. Following this nutrition and medication program will prepare our birds for the seasons ahead. But over the years, we've found that nothing replaces observation, so it's a great idea to spend a few minutes each day just observing the birds and learning to detect if all is not right in the loft. Early detection of disease can be the best approach for prevention of bigger problems down the road. And that's it for part 6 of champion breeding and pairing. We shall continue on video 7. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Your free downloads are below this video. Thank you.